This workshop is to help you add historical details and citations to your draft. The key idea is that historical fiction uses research. These are two situations Remarque describes in All Quiet on the Western Front. 1. Reinforcements have arrived, the vacancies have been filled, and the beds in the barracks are already booked. So he describes new recruits coming to the camp. Later, Paul and his friends sit around the fire and pick at our lice. These are two scenarios he describes that are accurate to the lives of a soldier, but they don't necessarily have rich historical detail to truly help us understand what the soldiers' lives were like. Look at what Remarque adds to make these seem more authentic and well-developed. For the mattresses, he says, reinforcements have arrived, the vacancies have been filled, and the sacks of straw in the huts are already booked. This is interesting historical detail, because now we know that the mattresses were in fact made out of sacks filled with straw, and that's what we see these nurses building in this picture. They're making mattresses for soldiers. For the lice example, he doesn't just say that they pick at their lice, and we know that the soldiers had lice. He tells us much more about the process. So he says, killing each separate louse is a tedious business when a man has hundreds. The little beasts are hard, and the everlasting cracking with one's fingernails very soon becomes wearisome. So Jodin has rigged up the lid of a boot polish tin with a piece of wire over the lighted stump of a candle. The lice are simply thrown into this little pan, crack, and they're done for. So again, from the historical detail, for Remarque, from actually being there, we know that it's not just that they picked their lice out, it's that they set up a little pan over a candle and then threw the lice bodies into the pan to let them explode, which is pretty gross and also pretty awesome. Again, the idea is that historical details make your story come alive and really help us imagine a life that is different from our own. So how do you get there? Here's an example from one of my students that has weaker historical detail. This student is writing about how her soldier enlists in the army as a medic. It goes like this. We stood in line for about an hour before I heard, "Hey there, darling, what are you here for today?" I would like to enlist as a medic. Are you sure? He said, doubting that I would say yes again. Yes, sir. Okay, name? Ashley Jones, I said, while looking at Trevor. Okay, you're leaving June 14th. This student has good dialogue and has really built up her character's conflict about enlisting, so this is a key moment. However, there's a lot of historical detail that she could add. She should start by asking herself some questions. So her soldier goes to the enlistment office. She might wonder, where was the office? How long would I have had to wait? What would the inside have looked like? Then she decides to enlist, and she might decide to ask, what was the process for enlistment like? In trying to search for answers to these questions, this is what I did. I searched for British soldier recruitment, World War I. On the list of links about number 7 on the links, I found this article that was really helpful to me. It was called From Civilian to First World War Soldier in 8 Steps from the British Imperial War Museum's website, which is below. So based on my research, I'm going to try to add some historical detail to this scene. What I found on this website was that if they were successful in various tests of physical strength and physical aptitude, new volunteers had to make a solemn promise to do their duty. In a ceremony led by recruiting officers, new soldiers swore an oath of allegiance to the king upon a Bible, and the oath required every new recruit to swear to faithfully defend His Majesty, his heirs, and successors against all enemies. It also required each man to promise to obey the authority of, quote, all generals and officers set over me. Recruits pledged to serve as long as the war lasted. So this is an interesting historical detail. I actually got the words of the oath they had to say. I'm going to go ahead and add that now to my draft, or to my student's draft, to try to revise it to have better historical detail. Okay, and this is my revised passage. I returned from my physical exam. They tested my eyes, my strength, and measured my height. Finally, when they were certain I fit the physical requirements, they called me into the front room. A tall man in an officer's uniform held out a Bible. Place your hand here, he instructed, and repeat after me. I will faithfully defend His Majesty, his heirs, and successors against all enemies. Filled with pride, but with pounding heart, I began. I will faithfully defend. So you'll notice that I've pulled that historical detail into the narrative of my story, which really makes it feel more authentic and more alive. As you pull in sources to help you flesh out the historical details of your story, you have to cite them. You want to create a works cited entry at easybib.com, and this is for exceeding the standard. If you're not sure how, you can check out the video at bit.ly/easybib_how-to, and that will show you how to use the website to create your bibliographic entry. When you're done, it will look like this. A bibliographic citation includes the author's name, the title, the website where you got the information, and the date of access. So for this fact, it looks like this: Clouter, Laura, and then the title of the website article, From Civilian to First World War Soldier in 8 Steps. The website I got it from is Imperial War Museums, and then the sponsor is also Imperial War Museums. It was created on the 26th of September 2014. I accessed it on the web on the 17th of March 2017. You don't really need to know how to do any of that as long as you can use EasyBib, which will set up this whole bibliographic citation for you. Once you have the citation, you copy and paste it out of EasyBib into a Works Cited section at the end of your document. After the end of your story, you list all of these citations for your sources. After you've created your bibliographic citation, you need to also add a parenthetical citation after the fact in your text. The parenthetical comes from whatever is at the beginning of your EasyBib citation. In the one that's bolded here, it's the author's last name. The very first word of my citation is Clouter, and that's what I'm going to use for my citation. Putting it into my text looks like this. So you'll see my story and the pledge that my soldier did. And then after that sentence is over, I put in parentheses the parenthetical citation. I get this from the article by Clouter. And if you see it's in green, I got it from what was at the very beginning of my bibliographic citation. Again, to exceed the standard, you need to have explicit historical facts that are used to enhance your story and are cited at the end in a works cited page. If you're ready to try this, you want to think about how are you going to find and incorporate historical details, and there's a couple of ways to do this. You might do targeted research, and that's kind of what I did in my example. You want to identify a research question, something that would add detail or accuracy to your narrative. Then, use search terms to poke around the internet, or you can look through the sources we've collected for you at bit.ly/WWI_research to see if you can find the answer to your question. Once you've found the answer to your question, you incorporate it into the text, cite the source using EasyBib, and add the parenthetical citation. You can also, though, do exploratory research to see if anything pops up that inspires you. You might want to review the research you've done already on your soldier autobiography research presentation, or you might go through the lists of facts that you and your peers have found, and they are linked from bit.ly/WWI_research. Look and see what facts inspire you and see if you can pull them into your story. You might also poke around and explore World War I educational sites like BBC's World War I site, 1914.org, or firstworldwar.com. On any of those sites, you want to look for facts that inspire your imagination, and they might inspire you to add new details or new ideas to your story that you hadn't thought of before. And that's part of the joy of this historical research.